Grunberg slopes, hole 9, par 5. You got that. You know that hole 9 is always a tough hole. In real golf, it's usually it's a tough hole. Let's see what kind of distances we can get out here. I'm just curious, and I'm not worried about timing out here. Let's see what kind of distances we can get. Wow, we might be able to make it over to that area. We can with that kind of wind. Look at that. We can make it out there. So that's definitely possible if we got a tailwind. Not going to make it over to that one, but we could make it up here in front. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. See if we can bridge that gap. I didn't adjust the wind there. I'm just seeing what's possible. We can get over to that other side with a 3-power ball if the wind's blowing right. Curious. Hopefully my opponent will take the other side. I've got an Apocalypse 2 out. I'd like to see this shot up here. You can get past those trees so you got a nice clear shot coming in. Might get you more distance. You may have to bring a bigger ball on the other side in order to completely clear. I have to go back and watch the video on that. You can rewind it right there and see kind of where the bounces were at. So if you brought a 4-power ball, you might be able to make it over to the other side cleanly and get more distance. So my opponent's in the right spot. So they're clear of the trees, but you can see how far down there they have to get in order to clear those trees so that they have a nice second shot. So I'm in my Saturn range. It's a long iron from here, and the pin's right at max club. Got 3-1 headwind. That's about a ring and a half. Just a smidgen over. So we can hit this perfect. Hit it great to the right. And it ended up great to the right. It's always interesting when you get these holes. The first time you play these holes, my intent was there to play a marlin ball, but seeing that we could get over on that side, that's key information right there. So we can get down. So my opponent's in a wood club, and they are, let's see where they're at on the, those are bushes down there. So they did clear trees. And it looks like they have a lot of room where they could have went forward. So you could probably get into your long iron range on either side. No, they were as far down on that as they could. I think there's a, I'll have to go back and watch look at how the holes laid out. So we may have a wood shot on the left, and if we can bridge the gap on the right-hand side, we have a long iron. It's always interesting getting brand new holes on how they play and what stuff we need to bring, and got no notes, no experience on those holes. That's a new effect where it's showing the cup ring back where the, all right, so let's diagnose what just happened on that hole here. So that was the very first time that I played it, and I came out here with an extra mile, an EM9. So we got that extra topspin to bridge the gap. I hit a 2-ring grate to the left, And so where it put me at over on this side right here, I just barely clipped that rough and rolled out into this area right here, which put me in my long iron. If you're out in this area in long iron, this is going to be a great hole if you've got a grizzly. You're looking at really good accuracy. And it looks like it's going to be one of those holes where we can run it up there. So a long iron, if you don't have a grizzly, a long iron, whatever your long iron is, that you got the best ball guide to be able to funnel that up to the hole. It looked like I hit on the shot going in, I hit a one ring grate to the right, and it was just a little to the right. So I'm not sure if there's an additional wind adjustment, or if there's a wind adjustment on it, but it looked like it was a pretty straight in shot. If I would have, and I just barely missed the fairway out here, if I would have caught that fairway to roll forward, there's a good shot I could have got into my short iron range. So I'm thinking if you've got an extra mile, 7, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood, and you're coming out trying to go this direction, you'll probably need to bring a 4 or a 5 power ball to try and get us the farthest that we can up here. It looked like from where I landed out here, I had plenty of room, even with the extra mile 9. So it does look like it's possible to get up in here to get into our short iron range. Now my opponent, if we count this is the B side and this is the A side, luckily for me on the A side, my opponent took the A side and they ended up in the spot. So like in the preview, if we draw the line here, so that we can clear these trees and have a straight in shot, they were in front of this shadow, using that shadow out there as a marker. They were right in front of that shadow. So go back and look at the adjustment. I think they were using a Apocalypse 2. So you can kind of look at the adjustment that they made, because they didn't have a lot of room left to move forward. So I mean, they were in the right spot. And from here they had a wood. And from out in this area, you're going to be in long iron. And if you can catch this fairway and get any distance forward, you could end up in short iron. So it looks like to me like this is the side that we really want to work this week. If you've got lower developed stuff and you're having any problems, there is a risk of bridging this. So if you hit, the thing I don't like about shots like this on this side right here, on this side, is that when we're doing max overpower shots and we're going straight forward. So if we were trying to do a shot where we were trying to get the ball to do this, then that means we're going to put on all of the right hand side spin, all the right hand curl, and I would set myself up further to the left. And if you hit to the left, the only time the ball's to the left is on this first bounce. The ball's going, because you put on the right hand side spin and right hand curl, the ball's going to go in this direction. So you're going to end up out here in a very similar spot, no matter whether you hit it great to the left or the right, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing this type of shot right here and you're doing a max overpower shot, it's a straightforward shot. So if you hit it great to the left, it's going to land great to the left out here, and it's going to go great to the left. There's no movement to make it not go to the left. If you hit it great to the right, you're going to go out into this area. So it's going to be really important if we do this shot out here that we try and catch a perfect. And on a max overpower shot, that can be, sometimes that's a big variable. And there's nothing to help you recover. So this shot does have some danger in it that you could get caught up in this rough out here. But the good news is that from where I was at, I was very easily in my long iron range. So if you have a Nirvana and you end up close down here, you could probably get on, because a Nirvana is basically a long iron. It hits the same distance as most of the long irons that are out there. So you could recover with the long iron. I don't know if my opponent got right up against the edge down here, whether or not they would have been able to eke into their long iron range. If you do the arc, it does look like, there may be a long iron shot way down here on the very end, but the best that you're going to get on the left-hand side is going to be a long iron shot. From this side, it definitely looks like, there may be, if you're hitting from the left, like there may be an elevation change between this area and the green. But from where I was at out here, it looked like it was pretty straightforward. It looked like it was about the same level. So it may be one of those deals that if you hit to the left, always be aware that if you're watching videos from people and they go, yeah, we're using a 10% wind adjustment or a 15%. That's 15%. Like if they're hitting from here, but if you're hitting over here, it may be different. Or if you're here, it may be different. Or if you're out here, it's going to be different. So those wind adjustments, you have to find out what area you're consistently landing in. And then you're going to have to work the numbers from that spot, because what you do here is maybe different than what you do if you're here or out here or over here. So it's going to be different on those. But I think that I'm going to continue to explore this side right here, because I have the opportunity to get into short iron range. And if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you know that I'm all about trying to get into short iron range, because those short irons, that's what really gives you that opportunity for the Albie. All right, I will combine these two and catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Maybe.